Friends, welcome to our today's session. We will be continuing our discussion on residential status. Uh, we have completed one session. One session is already completed on residential status. This is the second session on the same subject. Uh, and all of you are aware that in order to compute the total income of a person, it is very important to know the residential status. Okay, and there are seven category of persons. And these persons can be classified, let us say individuals and HUF can be classified as resident and non-resident. And once they're resident, then again they can be classified as ordinary resident or not ordinary resident. But other assessees, other five category of assessee, let's say farm, company, AOP, BOI, and AJP, local authority, etc. It is possible that they can be either be resident or they can be non-resident, right? And we have already seen some of the basic conditions in which conditions an individual can be considered as a resident in India. Those things are already covered. We'll continue from that point. I'm going to share the screen with you right now. Please bear with me for a moment. Yes, friends. Yeah. So, yeah, that's what I was talking about in a previous class. I had already told you the total income depends on the residential status. Income is different if the residential income will be different if the person's residential status will be different. And in the previous class, I was explaining you that various kinds of persons are there, and we can divide if the persons are assessees for individuals and HUF. Residential status can be resident in India and non-resident in India. And there is one more specific situation. The specific situation is with effect from assessment year 21-22 only. The concept of deemed resident. Okay. And once a person is resident in India, again we have to sub-classify them as resident and ordinarily resident, and resident but not ordinarily resident. Okay, what are the conditions? We'll be seeing all that. Okay, but this sub-classification is applicable only when the person is an individual and HUA. For all other kind of assessees, there are only two classifications, that is resident in India or non-resident in India. Okay, and one more thing we have to remember, that if a person is deemed resident, he'll be treated just like a resident, but not ordinary resident. Okay, I think this chart is clear to you. You have already seen in your previous class.
Yes, sir.
Right. So the same chart is presented in a different way. Since this concept is new, so you might be knowing this, that this concept is important, definitely, the deemed resident concept. Right. And this residential status, all these things are there in the section 6 of Income Tax Act 1961. Now I'll do one thing. Let me share with you the act itself to give you some idea about the residential status. Just give me a moment. One second. Are you seeing Google Chrome browser on the screen?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
I'm taking you to the Income Tax Department's website. You know what is the website address? incometaxindia.gov.in. Now please see, I'm taking you to this very acts. Okay. Are you able to see here?
Yes, sir.
Acts. Yeah. If I click acts, you see so many acts are there, but I'm interested in Income Tax Act. I will click here. Income Tax Act. Okay. Now you see section wise things are there. I am interested in section 6 now. Can you see what is written here? Section 6.
Residents in India.
Yeah. So residents in India. The entire chapter. how to know the residential status is explained in section 6. Just have a look at this, so that in case you have any doubt, you can refer to this bare act. Okay, professional students are always expected to refer to the bare act. Sometimes books may not be clear, notes may not be clear, so refer to the bare act. You see, bare act section 6 talks about the residents in India. As you can see, this is the section title, this is the section, these are the subsections, and these are the clauses. So you said there are sections, there are subsections, these are the clauses, and in some subsection there are explanations. Okay, and in some subclause there is, you see, items are there, item 1, item 2, these things are there, again explanations are there. This is how the section 6 is structured. Section 6 subsection 1 talks about a resident. An individual is said to be resident in India in the previous year if he, then certain conditions are prescribed here. Are you seeing all this?
Yes, sir.
You see, here there is one more subsection 1A. This is newly inserted. So this is applicable for assessment year 21-22. That's why it is relevant. Right. So you can see subsection 1A, then 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 defines person is said to be not ordinarily resident. What is the definition of not ordinarily resident? What we are going to learn. This is taken from this area of the law. Okay. Then you see, finally, one more thing is there, explanations. You see, for the purpose of this section, income from foreign sources, that has also been defined. What is the meaning of foreign sources? This is how the section 6 looks like, which is the important section for us if you want to understand the residential status. Okay, I think you got a broad idea about this. Now let us proceed to our PPT. Okay, have you seen it?
Yes, sir.
Sir.
You can also try at home. You should refer to the act directly, bare act itself. Please visit to the income tax department's website. Whatever you are learning here, whatever we are teaching here, please refer and try to connect it with the bare act. You will find the subject more interesting if you do so. And yeah, now I am taking you to the PPT files once again. Yeah, in the previous class we have already discussed about the residential status of an individual. Now I am coming to section 6, subsection 1. Very briefly, I will be recapitulating that thing, then we'll go to the new areas. An individual is said to be resident in India if he satisfies any one of the following two conditions. First one, you know, he is in India for a period or periods amounting to 182 days or more. Okay, that is the first condition. Second condition is that, or alternative condition is that he is in India for 60 days or more during the relevant previous year, and he has been in India for 365 days or more during 4 previous years immediately preceding the relevant previous year. So either of these two conditions has to be satisfied. We have discussed this thing in detail in our previous class. Those who are joining today for the first time can refer to our recorded classes which are available in YouTube. Now, conditions I think you have understood, right? 182 days in the relevant previous year you have to check. This is one condition. Suppose I am talking about assessment year 21-22. The relevant previous year is the, what? 1920 or 2021?
So 2021.
2021 is the relevant previous year. We have to see in that relevant previous year whether he has stayed 182 days or not. Okay, but the second condition says, or he is in India for 60 days in the relevant previous year. That means 60 days in 2021 and 365 days or more during 4 previous years immediately preceding the relevant previous year. Okay, relevant previous year is 2021. So you have to go 4 years beyond that. Except 2021, you have to go down 4 years, 4 previous years. And if in this 4 previous year, he has stayed 365 days or more, that has to be tested. The second condition has got 2 parts. Both are jointly needs to be satisfied. Right? If at least any one of these conditions is not satisfied, then he is a resident. But no, he is a non-resident. If any of these conditions is satisfied, he is resident. Otherwise, he is a non-resident. I think this part is clear.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And other concept, what is the meaning of stay in India? Last class I had explained you. This particular example we have done in our previous class. In which situation person is resident, which situation is a person is not resident. There, here is the example of 7 combinations. Again, seven more combinations are also you have tested, and you have answered correctly in which case person will be treated as a resident and which case it's not resident. You can refer to that. And also in that context, we have discussed about 3 exceptions, right? First exception is that an individual who is a citizen of India who leaves India in any previous year for the purpose of employment. That is an exception. Second exception is that individual who is a citizen of India who leaves India as a crew member in an Indian ship. Third exception is that individual who is a citizen of India or a person of Indian origin who being outside India comes to India on a visit during the previous year. If these are the 3 situations, then what will happen? The 60 days which was mentioned in the second condition shall be read as 182 days. Okay, so this was the condition I had told you. The person should have stayed in 182 days. It's the first condition. Second condition, this was 60 days. The 60 days will be replaced by 182 days. Okay, and you know, either of these condition has to be satisfied, either condition 1 or condition 2. Condition 1 already says 182 days. Condition 2 says 182 days plus 365 days. So this is irrelevant. If the person is staying in 182 days, then he is already covered in condition number 1. He is already arrested. So this additional condition at the second part of the condition number 2 is irrelevant. Therefore, second condition is irrelevant entirely. So in those 3 situations which I told you, first one is what? What is the first condition? Who can tell me? At this stage, 3 examples I told you, 3 exceptions. Can anyone tell me?
A citizen of India who leaves India for the purpose of employment.
Yes, Indian citizen leaving India for employment purpose. Point number 2.
He's a member of a cruise ship. A citizen of India who leaves in an Indian ship or as a member of crew.
That is only citizen of India leaving India as a crew member in an Indian ship. That is the third thing. Third exception. Third exception is that Indian citizen or a person of Indian origin coming to India on a visit. If these are the 3 cases, then the 60 days shall be read as 182 days. Consequently, the second condition is not useful. Second condition has got no relevance. Only the one condition we have to test. So again, I repeat, that means in these 3 situations, you have to see only when if the person has stayed 182 days or more during the previous year or not. If he has stayed, then he is a resident. Otherwise, he is not. But the third condition, you know, there is an asterisk mark, some additional things you have to learn in connection with the third condition. Okay, third condition is that. Now let us quickly recapitulate about the third condition. Just a minute. Now, as you can see, such person means an individual who is a citizen of India or a person of Indian origin who being outside India comes to India on a visit. If this kind of person, we're talking about this kind of person, however, such person having the total income other than the income from foreign sources exceeding 15 lakh. If those category of persons, their Indian income means other than income from foreign sources exceeding 15 lakh during the previous year, they will be treated as resident if the period of stay during the relevant previous year is 182 days or more, or he has been in India during the 4 years immediately preceding the relevant previous year, for a total period of 365 days or 365 days or more, and he has been in India for at least 182 days in the relevant previous year. At least 182 days in the previous year. That means the second condition, I told you two conditions are there. First one is that in the relevant previous year, 182 days, or the second condition was 60 days in the relevant previous year plus 365 days of the four previous years immediately preceding the relevant years. The 68 days shall be considered as 182 days. I'm sorry, 60 days shall be considered as 120 days. Okay, 120 days in which situation? Only in this situation. Individual is a citizen of India, or he is a person of Indian origin. He's coming to India for a visit, and his Indian income is exceeding 15 lakh. If this is the condition, then what will happen? He has to comply these two conditions in order to become resident in India. In the relevant previous year, 182 days. And in the four previous years, immediately preceding the relevant previous year, he should have stayed 120 days. Okay, is it clear to you? Last class also we have discussed this concept. Is it clear to you? I'm only recapitulating that concept. Is it clear to you? Still you have some query?
Yes, sir, it's clear.
It's clear. Okay. Now, the deemed resident concept, this was also discussed in the last class. Yeah, here before that, one more concept I will tell you. What is the meaning of income from foreign sources? You see, this particular provision says income from foreign sources. Such person having total income other than income from foreign sources. That means here we are talking about Indian income. Income from foreign sources, as you have already seen, it is explained in the as an explanation in the section 6. It has been explained. That means, you see, this is the meaning. That means income which accrues or arises outside India, except the income from a business controlled or profession set up in India. If the business or profession is set up or controlled in India, then that will be regarded as Indian income. Otherwise, income which is accruing or arising outside India, that will be regarded as income from foreign sources. And it also includes, and if the income is, and which is not deemed to accrue or arise in India. That means if the income is accruing or arising in India, that will not be regarded as income from foreign sources. I repeat, income which accrues or arises outside India and which is not deemed to accrue or arise in India shall be regarded as income from foreign sources. Here you have to remember, if income is earned from a business which is controlled from India or from a profession which is set up in India, that will be regarded as Indian income. That is not income from foreign sources. I think this concept is clear to you. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Thank you. Let us proceed. Now, this section 6A is a new section. I had already explained in the last class. Once again, I am repeating this thing. I feel it is important. What is this concept of deemed resident? As you can see, first thing is that an individual being an Indian citizen having total income other than income from foreign sources. What is the meaning of income from foreign sources? I have already explained you. The same meaning is appearing here. That means only Indian income will be considered. If the Indian income exceeds rupees 15 lakh during the previous year, he would be deemed to be resident in India in that previous year if he is not liable to pay tax in any other country or territory by reason of his domicile residence or any other criteria of similar nature. That means whatever might be the reason, if because of the person's residence or because of person's domicile, he's earning some he's earning Indian income of more than 15 lakh and he's not paying tax in any country, then he'll be always be deemed to be a resident in India. He'll be deemed to be a resident in India in respect of that, in respect to that assessment. So condition here is that he should be an Indian citizen. Indian total income should exceed rupees 15 lakh. and he should not be liable to pay tax in other country. If these conditions are there, these situations are there, then that person shall be deemed to be a resident under the provisions of section 6(1)(a). Are you getting?
Yes, sir.
And this provision doesn't apply if the person is already resident as per section 6(1). 6(1) talks about that 182 days or what? 60 days plus 365 days. We have already discussed that. If he's already resident under that section, then he will not be a deemed resident. Okay. Right. Because he's already resident. There is no need to deem that person as a resident. Person of Indian origin, number of days, how to calculate, we have already seen. Previous class, we have done these exercises. So I'm not recapitulating all these things. Okay. I think up to this, if things are clear, then we can move ahead. Is it clear up to this?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, in order to proceed further, we have to first understand what is the meaning of not ordinarily resident. Now, as you know, the concept of not ordinarily resident or ordinarily resident comes in case of only two kinds of persons. Who are these two kinds of persons? Who can tell me? Can anyone tell me? Only with respect to two category of persons. We have two.
Individual and HUF.
Individual and HUF. Very good. So if the person is an individual or HUF, then first we'll find out what is his primary residential status. He may be a resident or he may be a non-resident. Once we know he is a resident, then again we have to subclassify them into two more categories. We have to find out whether that person is a resident and ordinarily resident or resident but not ordinarily resident. First we'll cover, to understand this concept, first we need to understand the definition of not ordinarily resident. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
For all other category of person, there are only two possibilities. Either they can be resident or non-resident. The question of not ordinarily resident and ordinarily resident doesn't arise in case of other five category of persons. This will relevant only for individuals and HUFs. Now let us come to the definition of not ordinarily resident. I had already shown you section 6, how it looks like. If you refer to section 6, subsection 6, you can understand what is the meaning of not ordinarily resident. Now, the extract of this section is like this. Not ordinarily resident person is one who satisfies any one of the conditions specified here. So, any one conditions needs to be satisfied. How many conditions are there?
4.
4 conditions is there. If any one is satisfied, then he is regarded as resident. When he is definitely resident, he will be regarded as not ordinarily resident. Okay. Now, first of all, you see, can you read? Some of you can read the condition number 1.
If such individual has been non-resident in India in any 9 out of the 10 previous years preceding the relevant previous year.
So, first of all, we have to see, we have to know what is the assessment here. What is the assessment here?
2021.
No, we are referring to assessment year 21-22.
21-22.
21-22. Then what is the relevant previous year?
2021.
2021. But here what it talks about? 9 out of 10 previous years preceding the relevant previous year. That means prior to 2021. 2021 the relevant previous year. But before that, we have to proceed for how many previous years? 10 preceding
10.
previous years. Are you getting?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And if he is non-resident, 9 out of 10 previous years. So you have to send 10 preceding previous years. You have to see in which years he is non-resident. If he is non-resident in India in 9 out of 10 preceding previous year, then one condition is satisfied. Then what will say? He is not ordinarily resident. Are you getting?
Yes,
No,
sir.
sir.
You are not getting? Okay. Just give me a moment. Friends, we are discussing in this concept. This for the assessment year. What is your assessment year? Who can tell me? Our discussion is for assessment year
21, 22.
21. Assessment year 21, 22, right?
22.
Is it basic or no?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. It's clear to you? No. Assessment year 21, 22. For that thing, we have to find out what is the relevant previous year. What is relevant previous year? You tell me.
2021.
2021. Okay. And what this particular section says, 10 previous year preceding to relevant previous year. Now here you have to go for 10 previous years preceding to the relevant previous year. Ignore this one. From here 10. 10 means how we will be doing 1920. Then tell me.
18,
19.
1819.
17, 18.
18.
Then
16, 17.
16, 17.
then
15, 16.
15, 16. Then
14, 15.
14, 15.
14,
15.
Then
13,
13,
13,
12.
13, 14. Then
12,
12,
13.
12, 13.
12, 13. Then
13, 11, 12,
11, 12.
Then
10, 11.
10,
11.
now you count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So this is the 10 previous years preceding to the relevant previous year. Right. Now what we will do, you have to check residential status in each of these previous years. If in any 2 years, he is a resident. Let us say here is a resident. Here is again resident. No, sorry, any 2 years he is non-resident. Let us say here is a non-resident. Here he is again non-resident. No, sorry. Again, I am talking about the other conditions. Now, first one, let us see. What are the first condition? 10 previous years. What the condition says? 9 years. Can you read the condition? Oh, I have to show you once again. Just a minute. Just a minute. Are you seeing it?
No, sir.
No,
No,
sir.
sir.
We are not seeing it. Just 1 second. I think.
Non-resident in India in 9 out of 10 years.
Yeah, in
That is-
9 out of 10
that-
years. Okay, without seeing also we can do it.
huh.
So we have to see how he can be non-resident in India. 9 out of 10. If any 1 year he is resident, then what will happen?
The remains are non-resident.
That means in 9 years he is non-resident, or in all the years he is non-resident. We have to check the residential status. Let us say first one non-resident, anyone non-resident, 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 maybe non-resident, 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 non-resident. Sorry, this one let us say he is resident. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So he is non-resident in 9 previous years, immediately preceding to relevant previous year. that person will be called as what? Not ordinarily resident. Did you understand this first condition?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Is it clear to you? Right. Okay. Now, is it clear to you, all of you, or any doubt?
Yes, sir.
No, sir, it's clear.
It's clear. Now, I will come to the second condition. Again, I'll be coming here. Just give me a moment. Yes. Now, I think you are reading the first condition. Such individual has been non-resident in India in 9 out of 10 previous years preceding to the relevant previous year. In that case, that person will be referred to as not ordinary resident. Or, as you know, these 4 conditions, any of these conditions needs to be satisfied if you want to call that person as not ordinarily resident. Second condition is that if such individual has during 7 previous years preceding the relevant previous year has been in India for 729 days or less. That means if he stays for 730 days, then he is no more a not ordinary resident, he is a resident. Okay. Are you getting?
No, sir.
You are not getting. Okay. Once again, I will tell you this thing. Let me once again repeat. So, friends, what we are discussing? We are discussing how to know whether the person is not ordinarily resident. First, we have to know whether he is resident or not. Once he is resident, if he is an individual, you have to test whether it is he is ordinarily resident or not ordinarily resident. And this particular section says, particular subsection says that any one of these conditions has to be satisfied if you want to call that person as not ordinarily resident. Is it clear? Any one condition, as you can see in between, what is the word here? Or. Either this condition or this condition or this condition or this condition. That means what? Any one condition is to be satisfied.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, what is the first condition? He should be non-resident in 9 out of 10. That means in these 10 years, if he is resident for 1 year, it's okay, acceptable. But if he is resident for 2 years, then first condition is gone.
Yes, sir.
Okay, if he is resident for 2 years, first condition is gone. So in the example I showed you only one case he was his resident. If you will make 2 residents, 2 years he is resident, then this condition is not complied with. We have to check the other conditions. Are you getting? So at best, in 1 year, he can be the resident. Right. So we have to check all the previous years preceding to the relevant previous year. You have to say whether he is at least resident in 9 preceding previous years. He is at least non-resident in 9 preceding previous years. I think first condition you have understood.
Yes, sir.
Now, coming to second condition. Second condition, what you have to do? Now, read the second condition. Please
If
read the
such
second.
individual has during the 7 years preceding the relevant previous year been in India for a period of 729 days or less.
Now, you see. What is 7 preceding previous year? You see. Oh, sorry. I have to show it now. So these are the 720. These are the 7 years. Is it not? That means
Yes, sir.
below 3 years, please exclude. These are the 7 years you have to test. So first condition, if it is met, then okay, fine. He is non-resident. Let us say by any chance, first condition is not met. Okay, he is, let us say, resident in two years. Then first condition is not compliant. We have to check the second condition. Second condition is, if first condition is already compliant, then already he is a not ordinarily resident. Here the first condition is not compliant because he is non-resident only in 8 years. Right. Second condition, what we'll do, we have to say these many days, these many previous years. Here you have to say you should have stayed at least how much? 729
or
days or
Less.
less. That means the moment he days 730 days, then second condition is also gone. He should not stay equal to or more than 730 days. He should not stay. The moment he stays, then this not ordinary resident status will go away. The moment he attends 730 days. Did you understand the second condition?
Yes, sir.
So first we'll check this condition. If this condition is satisfied, then no need to check. You can check the second condition. If this condition is satisfied, then fine. Otherwise, you'll go to the third condition, then we'll go to the fourth condition. Are you getting?
yes, sir.
Friends, since there are some changes in this these particular provisions from assessment year 21, 22 onwards, this topic is important for all of us. Yeah, now I'm again going to share the PPT file with you. I think first two conditions you have understood.
Yes,
First
sir.
condition is that he should be non-resident at least in 9 previous years immediately preceding to the he should be non-resident at least 9 out of 10 previous years preceding the relevant previous year. Second condition is that he should have stayed 729 days or less during 7 previous years immediately preceding the relevant previous year. Right. Third condition is to some specific category of persons. If individual is a citizen of India or a person of Indian origin who being outside comes to India on a visit and the total income other than the income from foreign sources exceeding rupees 15 lakh during the previous year, who has been in India for 120 days or more. Okay, how many days? 120 days or more, but who has been in India for 120 days or more, but less than 182 days. If it's more than 182 days, then he is definitely a resident and ordinarily resident. But let us say he is 120 days or more, but less than 182 days in that previous year. That person will also be regarded as not ordinarily resident. What is the condition? He should be an Indian citizen or a person of Indian origin coming to India, and his total Indian income should exceed rupees how much? 15 lakh. Right. And he should have stayed how many days? 182 days or more, but less than 182 days. Are you getting the third condition?
Yes, sir.
Right. Fourth condition is again to specific situation. If individual is a citizen of India who is deemed to be a resident in India. So as I had already told you, you have already understood the concept of what is deemed to be a resident under section 6(1)(a). We have already studied it, isn't it? Today also I had explained you what is the concept of deemed resident.
Yes, sir.
And if the person is deemed resident, always he will be treated as not ordinarily resident. Deemed resident citizens are always treated as not ordinarily resident. Did you understand these 4 conditions?
So point number 3 and 4 are more or less the same.
No.
So what is the difference? Like
What is
it's
point
just
number 4? Point number 4 is only deemed resident. Deemed resident means what? His income is not taxable in some other countries.
yes,
That
sir.
condition is not there in point number 3.
Okay.
Are you
But
getting?
then
Just
other
you
than
see, 15 lakh limit is there, but point number 4 talks about deemed resident. And deemed resident, if you look at this definition, let me show you that definition. Yeah, this is the deemed resident condition. Right. Here, what is the meaning? He should not be liable to pay tax in other country. He should be an Indian citizen.